Hello and welcome. My name is Kevin. This is Do It for Bruce. We're here in CK3 once more with another time lapse. This one's going to be a little bit different because it's just going to be a very, very long time lapse. We're going to start in 867 and go all the way to the year 3301. Some predictions on the top of this is I expect, like we did in our other longer time lapse, the Muslims will be very successful in taking over the world and being the dominant faith. I think that's probably going to happen again just because the Umayyads are so powerful and so is the Abbasids empire, and they do a better job of converting land and keeping land converted compared to their Christian counterparts. My guess there'll be mega nations, but for the most part, it will still be pretty populous, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna guess there's probably will be still more than 50 nations on the map, even with that much time passing. So now let's just get underway and see what happens over the course of 2400 or so years in this game. I'll see you in the post. All right, here we are, 2,400 years in the future, and the map is Uh, much more consolidated than I predicted. As you can see, there's a lot more mega nations around. I assumed for whatever reason the time still would make for it to be harder to keep your lands consolidated. But I feel when your lands are all they're all Muslim for the most part, it's easier to then have cohesion within your country. More on that in a bit. Looks like we have a couple mega nations. They have the wildest names just because of the amount of houses that have been created and living family members and cadet branches and all that. So let's look around and see this nation, which is the Grand Clan of Wessex. Would not have guessed that this is all Wessex kingdoms, but or empire, and that they did a pretty bang up job of expanding all across the north to the north of Africa. They seem to be, I think, the most powerful. 6, yeah. Oh, nope, just kidding. Our boys in the east over here, the Grand Clan of Ajmer, has actually much more troops comparatively, and they're also a different ideology completely. East-west split of Muwaladid, which is the Andalusian or the Umayyad religion. Speaking of Umayyad, let's see, are they still in existence or have they been ousted from control? They are probably unranked. Oh, no, they got them. They're here. They're here and there. The kingdom of the empire of West Francia has an Umayyad as a leader. The clan of Epirus, like a Greek kingdom, is in control of some land, grossly amount of land elsewhere. Clan of England, what? So they still exist? England still exists, but it's not. It's a shell of itself, and it's only really 2 counties that are still really considered, or 2 duchies, to say the least. The amount of gross kingdoms that are here is something else. Like the kingdom map mode is just it's just a rough looking map mode. I would imagine. Yeah. We got West Francia. We got us. It's just very wild. Like random kingdoms that have been created and then fallen off. It's just something else. Looks like Norway. The Grand Kingdom of Norway is really popular, except for, does it even exist anymore? No, it got blown up. All right, let's go back to talking about faith for 1 second. I just wanted to see what the breakdown is in all faiths. So it's Muhammadanism is first, and then Maturidism is second. Is there other faiths still in existence? It looks like there are some, and the Christians still exist somehow. Where do we think they are going to exist? My gut says, I don't know. It'd be interesting because we'll see. Oh, looks like the last living Christians are all held out. The Pope man himself owns Venetia and is the last of all the Christians and the last hope of all Christians. And it looks like he's currently in a war. The 5th time this war has been fought, but looks like he's still holding on somehow to this land with only 15,000 troops, which in the normal game, of course, the game is pretty great. But in this weird, wild future where half a K or 750,000 troops is pretty common. It's hard to put up a fight with 15K troops. Wild things. I want to look at the general health and levels of all of our sum of stat of all skills. It looks like a lot of people are genius, beautiful, Herculean. Most people are coming in at 3 or 4 learning stats with all those additional things. This man right here, he's an unlanded dude who's just like 65. How do you have so much? You have just so much diplomacy and all these other things. How is it possible? Because you're just so smart. You were just taught so well by your family. Genius is the new normal, and everybody else is. If you're not a genius, you're absolutely an imbecile. Probably. Yeah, it looks like for the most part, unless it's, I imagine, random event characters who, for whatever reason, they don't spawn with They don't spawn. Yeah, see, this is a random event character. I may guess is they just got created for some one reason or another and aren't a genius or a genius Herculean or a beautiful person, which is wild. In nearly 2,500 years into the future, it looks like culture is as gross as ever. There's a lot more consolidations. It looks like the Andalusians have controlled much more of the map. The Picts, for whatever reason, never became Scots, and that's unsettling. The Norwegians, Danish, and all that split happens. The Greeks expanded out of the Byzantine area. My other question is, are the Carlings still in existence? My guess is it seems like they are. It seems like there's still somebody's still. I don't know if this family is actually living or if they've died. Let's click on their things and then see the housings. It seems like after a certain amount of time just kind of passes some houses by. Real family still in power. What's their relationship with their vassals for the most part? Let's see. It looks like there are small things, but for the most part, when you're a living legend, you can get through most of it. Your diplomacy is pretty decently high. Long reign. There's other boons that have come through the process of getting your legacies as well as other decisions and events. I don't know. I think for there, we're going to just leave it. That was a pretty good time lapse to see how crazy things can get when you just let the game run. That's all I have to say on this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and as always, have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.